Welcome back. Are you ready for another cool book? Well, today we're going to read another book by the author of Antoinette. It's about a mermaid, a most unusual mermaid, who doesn't just swim around being mermaidy. She's also a treasure hunter. Una, written by Kelly DiPuccio with illustrations by Raisha Figueroa. Remember, Kelly lives in Michigan with her family and has 3 dogs, Pearl, Lewis, and Finley. Raisha is based in San Diego. She loves taking walks in the early morning light with her dog, Ghost. So let's read Una. Una was sweet and a little bit salty, like the ocean where she lived. She was also brave and curious, like most treasure hunters. When Una was just a baby, no bigger than a scallop, she chased a pearl into the mouth of a whale. Lucky for her, she popped right back out. As the years passed, Una found bigger treasure and even bigger trouble. It's a good thing she has Otto. Una rescued Otto from an oyster net when he was just a pup. She taught him tricks like sit, roll over, walrus, and her favorite, puffer fish. Una and Otto searched for treasure nearly every day. They uncovered keys and coins and buttons and bottles. Sometimes they even found lost gold. And sometimes lost glasses. But there was one special treasure that Una could never quite reach. The crown. It was extra sparkly in a way that made Una's heart thump. But the crown was stuck deep in the rift, and not a pole or a pail or the sticky stick of a snail could get it unstuck. Still, Una was determined. Her next plan was a good one. She'd knock the crown loose. Unfortunately, the current shifted. The lobster crate and rock drifted, and the squid, well, see for yourself. It's hard to say who was more surprised when the water cleared, Una or the shark. Her third plan most definitely would have worked if the crabs hadn't been so crabby and the waves hadn't been so wavy. And if that long ship plank hadn't bumped her head hard before the greedy rift gobbled it up too. Poor Una. This was getting personal. She shouted into the pit. "You can keep your dumb crown. I quit." Generally speaking, mermaids are not quitters. But at this point, one could hardly blame her. Instead of looking for treasure with Otto, Una napped on the rocks with the sea lions. She drew pictures in the sand with the starfish. And she read from her favorite glass bottles with her land friends. All this would have been perfectly fine, except Una wasn't perfectly fine.
Clearly, she was missing her spark. And a mermaid without her spark is like a seagull without an appetite. Unnatural. A seashell washed ashore. Una studied it thoughtfully. It gave her an idea.
She got right to work. The next day, Una peered nervously into the rift. Why did it look so much deeper and scarier than she remembered? Otto pretended to be a narwhal, making Una laugh. Admittedly, the new treasure-hunting goggles she invented were funny-looking, but they were also her best shot at reaching the crown. She dove to the bottom of the murky rift. That's when Una noticed something she couldn't see from above. A bridge. A bridge made from a crate, a rock, and the very same plank that had plunked her on the head. And it led straight to the crown. But what was that rumbling sound? It grew louder and louder. The ocean floor shook, and the water around Una churned into a thick stew of swirling sand and sea creatures. She couldn't see. She felt trapped. Would the hungry rift gobble her up too? Through the commotion, Una could hear something else. In the distance, it was faint, but comforting and familiar. The whales. Una sang along until the rumbling stopped as the water cleared. Finally, this was her chance. Una held her breath. Ready, steady, aim! Clunk! Hooray! We did it! Una cheered, placing the crown on her best friend. Oh, it really is beautiful, she gushed. But these, Una said excitedly, holding up her new goggles, these are spectacular. Otto agreed. Because sometimes the best treasure in the world isn't found. It's made. The end. So, what did you think? Have you ever had to work really hard to do something? And like Una, have you had to try and try and try until finally you figure out how to do it? And then it seems really simple, and you can't believe it took you so long to figure it out. The big word for that is persistence, which just means keep on trying. Una was persistent, wasn't she? But did you notice that after she finally managed to retrieve the crown from the rift, she was even more pleased with the treasure hunting glasses she had made than the crown itself? Because sometimes the joy in achieving something is not in the thing itself, but in using the skills and talents that God has given you. Well, I think Jesus might put it this way. Don't put things ahead of the really important things in life. Knowing and loving God and loving and caring for other people. Right? See you next week.